and government responsibility, the lawmaker says residents also have a role to play. He specifically blamed indiscriminate dumping of refuse into drainage channels and waterways for worsening flooding in some areas. The lawmaker is, however, calling on the FCT administration to continue investing in flood control, infrastructure, and strengthen enforcement against the obstruction and encroachment of waterways. And meanwhile, there is a heavy security around the Ministry of Defense in Abuja as military retirees protest over pension adjustments. Personnel from the police, army, immigration service, and vehicle inspection officers were deployed around the area, with armored personnel carriers and several security vehicles tied. The protest centers on the alleged failure to implement consequential adjustment to pensions following salary increase approved for 7 military personnel. Retired Colonel Innocent Azubike says President Bola Tinubu approved a military salary increase in November 2025, but the corresponding adjustment for pensioners has not been implemented. He is also raising concerns over another salary increase announced this month, saying pensioners were again excluded from the competition. The retirees say they are not opposed to salary increases for serving personnel. Their concern is that pensioners should receive corresponding adjustment to prevent disparities between personnel who retired at different times. And meanwhile, in Katsina State, troops of Operation Fansanyama have rescued 14 kidnapped victims. The victims, 6 males and 8 females, were rescued in Sabwa local government area, following intelligence about the movement of terrorists around Madachi Forest. According to the military, troops engaged the terrorists, forcing them to abandon the victims and flee into the surrounding bushes. Preliminary investigation indicates that the victims were abducted from different locations around Dentume, Bakori, and Funtua. They have since been handed over to the appropriate authorities for reunification with their families. And the military says it will continue operations against terrorist groups in the Northwest, as is urging residents to provide credible information to security forces. And now to Kano State, where the state government has entered into a 20-year agreement with the Aliko Dangote Foundation to manage the Aliko Dangote Skills Acquisition Center. The agreement is aimed at repositioning the center and expanding opportunities for entrepreneur and vocational training for young people in the state. The Kano State government says the foundation has the technical and managerial expertise needed to transform the facility into a leading vocational training institution. And the center was established under the administration of former Governor Abdullahi Ganduje and named after businessman Aliko Dangote. The expectation is that the new management arrangement will provide more young people with practical skills that can improve their chances of becoming self-employed or securing employment. And moving to the international scene, Iran has issued a warning to countries in the Persian Gulf against assisting the United States in its military operations. Iran's Armed Forces Chief of Staff Ali Abdullahi says any assistance or facilitation provided to the U.S. military would amount to participation in American military operations. The warning comes amid heightening tensions between Iran and the United States, with Tehran saying it is closely monitoring military activities and aircraft movement in the region. The development also comes as the USS George Washington aircraft carrier is being redeployed to the Middle East. Iran says Gulf countries should be aware that it is monitoring the situation closely. And finally, Japan has criticized sanctions imposed by the United States on International Criminal Court President Tomoko Akane. Tokyo described the sanction as very unfortunate, reaffirming its support for the ICC and its role in prosecuting serious international crimes. The United States has accused the court of being politically motivated and of exceeding its mandate. The ICC, however, says the sanction threatened the rule of law and could undermine the international legal system. Japan is the largest funder of the ICC, while the United States is not a party to the treaty that established the court. The dispute is largely connected to ICC investigation involving Israel and other cases that have drawn strong opposition from Washington. And back to business news with Marta. Hello, Marta. Hello and welcome to Business Updates. I am Martha Opalanedu. Here are today's top stories. Dangote Refinery secures a $1 billion boost ahead of its landmark IPO. NAFEM turnover climbs to $1.41 billion as foreign exchange activity rebounds. And airport transport fares rise following the suspension of Uber and Bolt operations. Now, the details. The Dangote Petroleum Refinery has moved a step closer to becoming a publicly listed company after securing a $1 billion underwriting program ahead of its planned initial public offering, or IPO. The funding includes a $600 million private placement that has already been completed and an additional $400 million commitment to support the public share sale. The refinery, owned by businessman Aliko Dangote, is expected to launch what could become Africa's largest IPO, giving more Nigerians and institutional investors the opportunity to own shares in one of the continent's biggest industrial projects. Analysts say the move could deepen Nigeria's capital markets and attract long-term investments into the economy. Moving to the foreign exchange markets. Nigeria's official FX market has recorded a strong rebound with turnover on the Nigerian foreign exchange market (NAFEM) rising to $1.41 billion, the highest level recorded in 5 weeks. The increase reflects stronger participation by banks and other market players, while the naira also gained slightly against the US dollar during the trading session. Financial analysts say the improved liquidity is a positive sign for the market, but stress that sustained activity will be needed to maintain exchange rate stability and strengthen investor confidence. And finally, passengers using Nigeria's major airports are paying more for transportation following the temporary suspension of Uber and Bolt pickup services at airports managed by the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN. The authority says the restriction will remain in place until new operating agreements are finalized with the ride-hailing companies. Since the suspension, many travelers have reported significantly higher taxi fares due to fewer transport options, while drivers have also raised concerns about the impact on their businesses. FAN says the new framework is aimed at improving security, passenger verification, and operational efficiency at the nation's airports. And that's your business update for today. Khadija Muhammad, over to you. Thank you, Martha, and welcome back. Up next is S24 Report coming to you after the break.
The Saudi Growth Initiative for Women and Youth with Disabilities organized a 2 day workshop aimed at increasing awareness and promoting the inclusion of women and young people living with disabilities in climate adaptation and disaster risk management in Nigeria. The program, titled Integrating the Voices and Needs of Women and Youth with Disabilities in Climate Adaptation and Disaster Risk Management in Nigeria, brought together stakeholders and participants to discuss the challenges faced by people with disabilities during climate-related emergencies and disasters.
I got to know about some of the ways whereby I will be able to help myself when disaster like flood happened before help comes. So those expectations were met because I got to know about how to navigate the myself before help come and even when help come, and also to advocate for myself.
The Saudi Growth Initiative is a youth-led non-governmental organization committed to empowering women and young people with disabilities through advocacy, capacity building, and community engagement. The organization seeks to promote inclusion, equal opportunities, and greater participation of persons with disabilities in the society.
The government should improve in their infrastructure because they are lacking behind. They are no more useful to the government agencies and policies. The government should contribute a lot with people with disability. They should contribute a lot to them in their aspect of infrastructure.
The initiative is part of the organization's advocacy efforts to ensure that concerns, experiences, and needs of persons with disabilities are reflected in policies and programs addressing climate change and disaster management.
Is since we are actually trying to develop a policy because this is a project, it's a 3-month project, and the main focus of the project is to develop a policy that affects women with disability, girls with disability, boys with disability, and then women-led organization for us to draft the policy in order to get the necessary inputs to make an impact in the climate ecosystem. So the outcome of this, my expectations from the outcome of this engagement is what for the participants to understand better on what advocacy is and how to make or develop policies which is going to impact their daily life.
Participants at the workshop were enlightened on the importance of active participation and representation in decision-making processes, particularly in developing climate adaptation strategies that are accessible and responsive to the need of vulnerable groups.
First of all, I have to appreciate the organizers because it shows thoughtfulness, it shows wisdom and long-term planning for them to conceive the fact that interests of women with disabilities need to be prioritized. I have to appreciate the organizers because what they are doing is something that will not just be beneficial to them, but to unborn generations, to our children and their children's children. It's something that will benefit the whole country, not just women. Even men will be beneficiaries of this intervention.
The organizers said greater attention must be given to the voices of women and youth with disabilities, especially as climate change continues to increase the risk faced by vulnerable communities across Nigeria.
To be knowledgeable about how climate change affects men with disabilities, so they can also add this into their programming, lend their own voice because we cannot do it alone. That's why we are building the capacity, forming an alliance with other organizations to add their voice to ensure that governments pass inclusive policies on climate change. And even some interventions, like the early warning signs, it is not inclusive for deaf people. And sometimes some synergies are not inclusive for blind people. So we want the government to include women with disabilities on the decision-making table when such critical decisions are being made so that our voices will be implicated and our flights will be carried along.
Hajara Suleiman, reporting for S24 Television.
Good day and welcome to another episode of Political Arena here on S24 Television. Insurgency remains one of the biggest security challenges facing many countries today. From Boko Haram, ISWAP in the Lake Chad Basin to Al-Shabaab in Somalia and militant group in Sahel, government have continued to deploy military force to protect their territory and citizens. But after years of military operation, an important question remains. Can insurgency be defeated by military force alone? Experience from countries such as Afghanistan, Iraq, Somalia, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Nigeria suggests that military action can weaken insurgent group, but lasting peace often require modern weapon and troop. So what is the right balance between military action and political economic, and what is the solution? Joining me today is John Costa, a veteran with vast military experience and security expert. John, welcome to Political Arena here on S24 Television.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
And welcome back.
Thank you very much. Good to be back in Nigeria.
Thank you so much. So if I may ask, as a security expert that has vast knowledge on what security is all about, can you differentiate between insurgency and a conventional war?
Yeah, I think a conventional war is World War I, World War II, lots of big armies, maybe allies involved in conventional battles, whether that's in the air, the sea, or on the land. Tanks, lots of people. That's probably most people's view through watching popular culture, films on Netflix and Amazon and things like that in the movies. Hollywood's very good at this, is creating this good guy, bad guy, just war, people fighting for good or against bad people. So that kind of tends to be what conventional war is. Whereas you've got this whole kind of insurgency, which tends to be sometimes very low level, can also be described as banditry or insecurity, as in here in Nigeria. But ultimately, insurgency and insecurity are intrinsically linked as well to local populations, governance and corruption, maybe government issues that have not been followed through on, and therefore it creates a imbalance, and therefore people are drawn to take up arms against the government, if you like.
Okay, we saw the presence of Boko Haram in Nigeria and ISWAP, and even Somalia. We saw the presence of Al-Shabaab and Al-Qaeda in most of the places in the world. So can government use its own force in order to eliminate? How can government eliminate all those insurgent groups?
Well, I think it's impossible, to be honest.
It's impossible.
It's impossible. And I think what we need to be really saying to people now that are responsible for creating these strategies and stuff, it's very good to appear to be a tough guy and have, tough military and, pay them more, give them more equipment, introduce drones. I think the last time I was interviewed by you, we were talking about artificial intelligence and stuff. All of that's great, but ultimately, you're not fighting a conventional force that has got equipment that can be destroyed, or men that can be killed, and then a leader that can be got rid of, and maybe an ideology that could go like, Nazism or fascism, one of these kind of things. You're dealing with things where people are involved in an insurgency for their own reasons. So there'll be people that will be involved in the insurgency because it's quite good to be involved in that because it attracts more funding and more weapons, but actually they're just cattle rustling, or they might be stealing equipment, or they might be part of the insurgency because it looks good on their social media, whereas in fact all they're interested in is low-level kidnapping of local people as a way of funding what they do. So I think what a conventional approach takes that is missed by most people, particularly members of the public that are looking at play out on social media or on the mainstream news, where we're talking about how many have been killed and equipment captured and people from overseas that have been captured and stuff as part of that, is we lose the fact that these people are doing it for their own reason, not necessarily for one overarching ideology. Al-Qaeda is maybe quite different because it's an ideology that's based on an extremism view, whereas a lot of the insurgencies that you might get and see around the world, particularly if we talk about the Sahel, up where I was last November in Katsina, up on the border there with that porous border. Well, if it's a porous border that goods can get in and out of, and that includes weapons coming down from Syria and Iraq and Libya, suddenly, not having anything from the government, jobs, security, suddenly you're drawn into that, particularly young men are drawn into that. And this is the situation that we're finding where when we went up to Katsina, the state governor and other people were saying to us that, you've got these young men that are involved in the insurgency, but they go home and their families are not necessarily supporting them, but they're part of it because they're providing protection or that kind of stuff. So, a community solution is important, but at the moment in the insurgency, the community is involved.
Okay, so what is the biggest mistake government done when fighting insurgency in a country?
Approaching it from the point of view that a conventional force is able to defeat an insurgency. It can slow it down, it can strangle it, it can have militarily successes when it comes to facing them they might get attacked and they're able to fight through and kill the insurgents, so the convoy isn't destroyed from the government forces. But ultimately what you're talking about there is there's no front line, there's nowhere that can be defeated. You can deny them some of the ungoverned spaces, but ultimately they just melt away into the forests and they come back again, and then you drone strike and kill the leader, and then someone else pops up as well. So it's almost like a multi-headed hydra, like a snake. It's very difficult to defeat. And I think a lot of governments have this military one fist, more equipment, more men, we can defeat it, whereas in fact it's going to take a whole range of options to be able to do that.
Okay, do you think that the military force alone can end terrorism?
No. If anything, military force alone trying to counter an insurgency will inevitably make it worse rather than solve the problem, because what you're not dealing with is the root cause of where the insurgency is coming from. Invariably it's from corruption and governance issues with failed government promises and lack of job opportunities for young people. Let's face it, the Nigerian government wants to recruit new army units and increase the pay. You're a young person in northern Nigeria, you've got an option for getting some pay, going to some training, join the army. Not quite sure, where you're going to serve. If you go to the northeast, a lot of soldiers are dying there, fighting Boko Haram, or just join the insurgency and earn a bit of money, live near home, and be part of that. So we've always got this thing where it's good to be tough and appear to be tough, but ultimately that tough hand is what is causing the issue to perpetuate as opposed to solving it.
Thank you so much. We are going for a short break. When we return, the conversation will continue. Let's go for a short break. When we return, the conversation will continue here on S24 Television.
of police why I know say their aspect of intelligence, they need to work on that part so that they go feel know the person when be say do waiting and person when no do
When no
waiting.
do waiting,
You
yes.
understand? So that
And they
way
go
life
fit also know how
dey
to protect the people where they give them
when they give
information
them
from the
information.
community.
When they give them information, because specific you now say see oh, if you know act well, get the way you go act. Then make you see say if kidnappers for instance kidnap somebody, they tell you say no call police oh, no
Yes.
pay ransom for so and so place. If you call police, we go buy you. And most of the time, the people no wan gree call police because nobody want die.
Nobody want die, you have.
They want die. So most of these people when don't die, so now sniff, they sniff life. Not be their time. They come on life for their body.
Another part who supposed look this matter come be safer. You know, say all these bad boys there. No, they call their name like that. Because of say we don't know them. All these bad boys there. As we take the toss, now people they give them information. Now people they cook for them. Now people they set things for them. Like me, I they feel say now people them and them they rapport together. Don't say now only them they do their thing. They get people where we say they rapport together. For instance, now if they cook food for road and then they come buy food for you, your friend supposed to tell you say this person not be ordinary person we supposed to our community.
They chop for them, not be people they cook for them. So all of them now
and then they wear clothes, not be people they sell for them.
For that clothes own, they fit wear one jean for 1 year. I never see that. I don't know if they resemble. But for that clothes, so for food, because food now daily necessity. Person must chop, man must work. They eat food, and a person they cook for them. So all of them enjoy, and a person they even sell for them, sell the food stuff they give them. So sometimes even the food stuff, they fit enter market like every other normal person.
Before we go, because of say time don't they give us signal, make we they stand up, come on for here. Another thing when me I want to be say, you know, say they use phone and they use internet. So nothing where federal government fit do for this internet matter. We be say any area where the intelligence part of the security people know say these people they stay. Make the formation say that area no get internet. That one said for fear
so that they go disconnect them. They don't
go fit get internet at least. But just find one or two way where they go take suffer small, then they go know say what did they do. It don't really make sense.
Based on federal government matter, like I talked before, I believe say they work on them because now for Nigeria, everybody they use registered SIM. So I believe say it gets, even if you know day before, it gets a special unit when they go bring up, when go they work with all these internet people, when go make sure say, you know, now they'll fit trace
their contacts.
Yes, through the registered SIM and all those details they. And again, the way you go take, where you go, they not a GPS or what they call it. You go feel they trace, they waka. But you know, say not still easy because now still human beings, when you get flesh and blood, like nobody want that you. Then go see enter forest, they go chuku.
Say you won't go there.
And you know, say those people they sabi that place where in that area.
And then no one pass through, no one go track them.
You get the point. You get the point, my sister. So for person to carry say he want go track those people before they go, they come like this. Those people say they don't know. Then too they don't get signal. And don't forget, so those people too they work with other people. So this particular case, government need to sit down, breathe well, consultants. Because again, some people when we say God don't give them the wisdom, just like God, the way God gives Solomon wisdom, God don't give them the wisdom to settle this Niger problem. Now make them on their own find out who those people be. Make they tell them how they go take run now because it they hard and it not too they hard.
The last one can't be said, but now this one will go stand up today. The last one can't be said, but some Nigerians they talk say these people where they catch. The federal government truly they go bring them. I mean now we they pay ransom because many Nigerians they talk say every day we go see social media they don't catch people. They will say make people they pay money, ransom. Make people they donate money. Even though 1,000 naira you get, may you send them, may they help save these people. Share not true.
Like you get one doctor for this Abuja when they kidnap. I think that last 2 months.
Okay.
Or so. Somehow. So people they donate to. Now medical doctor now they call they donate like that. MD can different people they after some time they can't bring the doctor out. So but information not call reach us if now federal government bring them come or now the money the ransom where we say they pay. That kind of thing nobody go want to reach that place so that there too because the doctor feel they fear the phobia if say they feel just come see catch them again the way they take carry before. So for the aspect if now government now they pay or now they can't rescue them or now them they rescue and now them know now only the people now know.
But the people where they catch their people now you go know the truth.
What me I want to be say person will be say if they call you now not be you okay if they call somebody
I better be me.
If they call somebody say if person they for rants they whole make it bring money. Nobody go they won't wait for government normally because government get procedure. Government not be waiting you go just knock today like this.
Say stand up, go begin
you go bring that 5 billion. They not go do one.
Welcome to Security Update, your window into the latest developments shaping Nigeria's security landscape. From counter-terrorism operations to the fight against banditry, kidnapping, illegal mining, drug trafficking, and other threats to national safety, we bring you the major security stories making headlines across the country. I'm Gloria Atta, your host for today. To start with, the Nigerian Army has arrested 18 suspected illegal miners at a mining site in Izom, Gurara local government area of Niger State. The suspects were arrested by troops of the 102 Guard Battalion during a routine operation after soldiers discovered alleged unauthorized mining activities. The army subsequently handed the suspects and recovered exhibits to the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps mining marshals in Abuja. Preliminary investigations by the mining marshals indicated that the suspects allegedly operated without licenses, permits, or affiliation with a registered mining company. The commander of the NSCDC mining marshals, Assistant Commandant John Onoja Atta, commended the Army for its cooperation, describing the operation as a demonstration of professionalism and commitment to protecting Nigeria's mineral resources. And in Katsina State, troops of Joint Task Force Northwest, Operation Fansanyama, have rescued 14 kidnapped victims in Sabwa local government area. The rescue followed credible intelligence about the movement of terrorists with captives around Madachi Forest. Troops of Sector 2 quickly mobilized to the area and engaged the terrorists, forcing them to abandon their captives and flee into the surrounding bushes. The rescued victims comprise 6 males and 8 females. Preliminary information indicates that they were abducted from different locations within the Dandume, Bakori, and Fantua areas of Katsina State. The theater command says troops will sustain pressure on terrorist elements and intensify operations to protect communities across the Northwest. And finally, in Kano State, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has arrested 80 suspected drug offenders and dismantled 16 notorious drug joints. The operations conducted between August 10th and 16th under the agency's Operation Restore Order targeted locations identified as hotspots for drug trafficking and abuse. NDLEA operatives raided areas including Filim Mahaha, Koki, Dorei, Rigia Lemon, Kaswar Kurmi, among others. The agency says assorted illicit substances, drug paraphernalia, packaging materials, and locally manufactured weapons were recovered during the raids. The command says the operation is intelligence-led and will be sustained and expanded based on emerging intelligence. And that's all we can take for today. Remember to remain vigilant, support the fight against insecurity by providing credible information to security forces, and most importantly, stay safe while at it. Bye for now. From smarter public services to reusable rockets and rising cyber threats, technology is moving fast. And this week, Nigeria and the world are keeping pace. Here are the latest developments in tech. Nigeria is taking steps to make Hajj administration more digital. The National Information Technology Development Agency has partnered with the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria to digitize the administration and operations of the National Hajj.
The move is expected to make processes more efficient, improve coordination, and reduce dependence on manual systems. And as the push for digital transformation doesn't stop there, Nigeria is also stepping up efforts to build stronger data and artificial intelligence infrastructure. Industry reports point to growing investment and activity around the infrastructure needed to support AI and the wider economy. The focus is clear: build the systems needed to support Nigeria's long-term technology growth. Now, from Nigeria's digital ambitions to immediate developments in space technology, China is testing how reusable rockets could make future launches cheaper. China has reached another milestone in reusable rocket technology. The country successfully launched and recovered the first stage of the Zhuk-3 rocket on land using deployable landing legs. The technology is important because recovering and reusing rocket stages could help reduce the cost of future space launch and make frequent missions more practical. Meanwhile, cybersecurity threats are continuing to put businesses on alert. The UK's National Cybersecurity Centre reported a 19% quarter-on-quarter increase in serious cybersecurity incidents affecting enterprises. The rise highlights the growing pressure on organizations to strengthen their cyber defense as systems become more central to business. And that's your tech updates from digesting Hajj operation in Nigeria to reusable rockets in China and rising cyber threats in the UK. Technology continues to reshape how we work, move, and connect. Stay informed, stay curious, and stay ahead of the next tech shift. Thank you. Bye for now.
Hello and welcome to S24 Entertainment Updates, where we bring you entertainment news buzzing in the world of fashion, music, and movie releases. From Arya Star's latest album inspiring a viral fashion trend to Shakira and Burna Boy extending their Billboard reign, and a new comedy promising plenty of chaos at the cinemas. Here are the stories making the headlines. Grammy-nominated singer Arya Star is turning heads with a fashion trend inspired by her latest album, Stargirl. The trend stems from the album's cover, where the singer rocks a purple Nigerian gele, paired with a simple dress. The Afrofusion-inspired look quickly caught the attention of fans, who began recreating the style and putting their own spin on it. What started as a fashion statement soon became a show of support for Arya Star and her new project. Even male celebrities, including Don Jazzy and comedian Shank, joined the purple gele trend, sharing playful photos online. Interestingly, the singer has embraced the traditional headpiece before, having previously been spotted wearing a pink gele during a night out. Adding to the excitement, Rihanna celebrated Arya Star's album with a purple-themed package containing flowers and Fenty Beauty products. Meanwhile, Shakira and Burna Boy are continuing their impressive global run with Die Die. The collaboration has topped Billboard Global 200 charts for 5th consecutive weeks, while also spending 8 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Global XL US charts. According to the Billboard, the song recorded 44.1 million streams and 6,000 sales worldwide between August 7th and August 13th. The track, which served as the official FIFA World Cup 2026 song, was performed by the duo during the tournament final between Spain and Argentina on July 19th. And finally, for movie lovers, Spa Weekend arrives in cinemas on August 21st. The comedy follows 3 best friends, Jane, Coco, and Sophie, as they head to Palm Springs for a luxury spa getaway. But their plans for relaxation quickly fall apart when their chaotic friend, Mel, unexpectedly joins them, turning the peaceful trip into a series of hilarious mishaps. And that's a wrap on today's entertainment update. with Arya Star's crazy purple gele craze, Burna Boy and Shakira's dominance, and a comedy hitting cinemas. The entertainment scene continues to deliver plenty to talk about. I am Lenny Skuyet. Thanks for watching.
Hello and welcome to Sports Update. I am Udokan Godspower, bringing you the latest developments from the world of sports, from major coaching decisions to big moves shaping some of the biggest teams and athletes. Let's get into today's stories. We begin in Senegal, where the national team has turned to a World Cup winner for a fresh start. Patrick Vieira has been appointed as Senegal's new head coach, replacing Pap Chow following the team's round of 32 exit at the 2026 World Cup. The former Arsenal captain won the 1998 World Cup with France and has managed clubs including Crystal Palace and Girona. But this will be his first senior international coaching role. The Senegalese Football Federation says the appointment is part of a plan to build a stronger technical structure around the national team. And with the AFCON qualifiers ahead, Vieira will have little time to settle in. And from Senegal to Nigeria, where the Super Falcons are also preparing for a new beginning. The Falcons are expected to have a new technical crew before resuming their 2028 Women's Olympic qualifying campaign in October. This follows the NFF's decision to ask Justin Madugu and his technical team to step down after Nigeria's disappointing WAFCON campaign. The Falcons suffered their earliest ever exit at the tournament after losing 1-0 to Cameroon in the quarterfinals. They also missed out on the 2027 Women's World Cup after a 2-1 defeat to South Africa in the CAF playoff. Now, the NFF must find a new direction for the 10 times African champions with another major qualifying campaign already approaching. And from a coaching overhaul to one of tennis's most iconic reunions, Serena and Venus Williams have returned to the double court together for the first time in 4 years. However, the comeback ended in defeat as the American sisters lost 6-2, 1-6, 10-8 to Marta Kostyuk and Peyton Stern at the Cincinnati Open. Despite the result, the packed crowd witnessed the return of one of tennis's most successful partnerships. And finally, back to football, where Chelsea have secured the long-term future of João Pedro. The Brazilian forward has signed a new contract, keeping him at Stamford Bridge until June 2032, with an option to extend beyond that date. The deal also includes a salary increase, rewarding João Pedro for his performances since joining Chelsea. For the Blues, it is another sign that the 24-year-old is a central part of their long-term plan. Now, the challenge is for João Pedro to make that commitment count on the pitch. And that's a wrap on today's sports update. Coming up next is PG News with Shukra.
When I welcome my country people, make we no waste time, make we yarn the matter we carry us come. Make we start from Abuja, the city's capital, where people still dey argue about the recent flood activity wey happen. Naim deputy spokesman of the House of Rep, Philip Agbese, comot talk say make people no put blame for Wike head at all o. Agbese talk say FCT admin don spend money to build road, gutter and other things for Abuja and even inside the village area wey be Abuja suburb. He mention projects like Gwarimpa Jahi Bridge, Airport Kuje and Kuje Gwagwalada Road. But he still add say no be only Wike fault, say residents too get work to do. He put out say people wey dey throw away rubbish, nyama inside gutter and waterways, na im dey make flood worse and na im dey make them happen. Even with that, the lawmakers still beg FCT admin make them continue to dey build better things wey dey happen for Abuja wey go stop flood and make sure say dem punish anybody wey pour nyama for inside gutter and waterways. And as this one sef dey happen, heavy security don scatter the area around the Ministry of Defence for Abuja because retired soldiers comot protest for their money matter. Police, army, immigration and VIO officer full ground with armored vehicles and plenty security motor. The matter wey bring comot na because dem dey talk say government no increase their own pension after dem don already increase salaries for soldiers wey still dey work. Retired Colonel Innocent Azubike talk say President Bola Tinubu approve salary increase for military men for November 2025, but the pension people suppose join, but rara dem no join. He still talk say salary increase wey they announced this month, say now they still leave pensioner comot out of it. The retiree convex for government say make dem increase salary for soldier wey still dey work. Their own na make pensioner join so that people wey don retire long times and the one wey retire small time go still dey collect something and they go get money to dey do some things for their family. And for Katsina State, soldier for Operation Fantanyama don't rescue 14 people where these bad guys been kidnapped. The people will be 6 men and 8 women for Sabua local government area. Them rescue them after soldiers get whisper say these bad guys they carry victims waka near Madachi forest. Military people talk say them they exchange fire with these bad guys, make the wicked people run, enter bush and leave the victims behind. Investigation self don't show say na different places like Dandume, Bakori and Funtua them carry these people from before they carry them waka. Them don't hand them over to the people we go take them back, their family and their village. Military contact say them no go stop to dey pursue this bad guy for Northwest, and then they beg residents make them give security people correct information because information is what? Power. And for our last Naija story, we go stop for Kano, where state government don't sign 20-year-old agreement with Aliko Dangote Foundation to manage the Aliko Dangote Skills Acquisition Center. The agreement now to make the center fine well and make it open ways for young people within the state to learn handwork and business skills. Kano state government talks say the foundation get the brain and experience to turn the place to one of the best training schools for Nigeria. Now, former governor Abdullahi Ganduje built the place before and named him after Aliko Dangote. In hope say with this new style of management, more young people will get practical skills to fit work for themselves and find better job. And we don't eventually reach Obudo Ibo, where Iran, they want countries where the Persian Gulf make them no help America for military matter. Because of the big way they happen between America and Iran. Head of Iran military, Ali Abdullahi, talks say anybody will help US means say then don't join hand with America be that, and they don't join for the fight. This warning comes because fights don't plenty between Iran and America. And Iran talks say them they shine their eyes where on top waiting US military and aeroplane they do for their area. This one they happen as they bring USS George Washington warship come Middle East. Iran say make Gulf countries know say them they watch them closely. And lastly, now for Japan, we go back motto as Japan don't vex for America because US put sanction on top International Criminal Court. President Tomoko Akane Tokyo talk say the sanction no dey alright at all and say them go still support ICC and the work where the courts they do to judge serious crime for the world. America talk say the courts they do politics and don't pass their own boundary, but ICC talks say the sanction don't spoil law and fit scatter international law system. Now Japan they give ICC money pass, while America no even join body with the people we make the court treaty. The fight come plenty because of the ICC case for Israel and other matter we make America para for them. And my people, now here we go end them today. Make una join us same time tomorrow.
Thank you, Shukra, for that version of our news. And this brings us to the end of S24 News Rundown. Do join us next time. And remember to follow us on all our social media platforms at S24 Television for more updates and breaking stories. My name is Khadija Mohammed, and bye for now.